out of energy. So it may not in every case be the best example, because you see, if I'm holding it like that, they are moving, and too many of my High Templar may hit a one spot, because that's the thing about holding it, is that everybody hits that one spot super quickly, while if I am clicking on it, it happens a lot slower. However, if I'm clicking it myself, it's far more precise. In this scenario, they just ran through a bit too quickly. So the only thing about this is that you have to be click using your E button rather than your mouse button, because if you are going to hold E, too many Templar may hit one place, and you may not always need that. In any case, if you need it, you may just click that E button. Many times. It can be done one way or the other. Now the problem here that may arise is that if you want to use a left mouse button, then you would have to always use the right hand to click E and left hand to click the left mouse button, which would surely be far more worse. Another thing I've learned here in this mode is that I don't really need to tab that much through, so the overlay does not need to select a specific unit. I just need to kind of click on the card and it's there. I just simply need them all selected. I previously thought it doesn't work like that. In any case, so if you want to select all your stalkers, you don't need these stalkers highlighted like that. You see, now the High Templar highlighted. You just need to hold CTRL and click on the stalker, and you would have them all from all over the map if you use an all army button, which will make it much more usable. And here you just have to click E and most of them will die. Now let's see what else I would go for. A disruptor, a few of these disruptors. Let's see how these work out. The game is a bit lagging. I don't really like that it's lagging. Okay, this looks like it's a bit better. In any case, so we hit them. We hit them like that, and once again I needed to click left mouse button to issue a command. But what if I have E selected here? Let me see what happens then. And what happens? Looks like I would need to just click E 2 times, and both of my attacks would take place. Let's see this one more time. In any case, if I click it 2 times, only one attack commences, so I would have to click it multiple times, which may sometimes not be as easy. So now, maybe issuing multiple commands using a left mouse button is easier than using a keyboard. So I have to press 4 times E, while now I'm pressing E and the left mouse button. In any case, let's try this a bit differently with some stronger resistance. Now I'm waiting for the enemy to approach me. Oh yeah. When he shoots his purification arc, the disruptor cannot move. So everybody has to either run and retreat while the disruptor is doing this, or they have to support the disruptor. It all depends on the circumstances, if you want to launch purification or to destroy, or to lure your enemy away from your army. In any case, disruptor looks super cool, and I'm going to leave on E because that's also can be kind of now. As you can see, an very interesting thing to know is that it looks like Purification Nova is not affecting the Zealots. I mean, the Protoss. Oh, look at that! It is effective Protoss units. So that was a mistake. It will not affect the disruptor itself, but it will affect other units. So that's the thing. Now let's launch a few into this blob right here. Okay, I want to know now if purification now affects air units. So let's get 2 air units here. And now it's time to launch many signals. It looks like it did not affect. It did not affect air units. Alright, so we'll have a few of these. That's a lot, as far as I'm aware. It does cost 150, which is reasonable. Then I'm gonna have a few sentries, which I yet to know how to use, and that's that. Against such a enemy army. Now, if I select everybody, the sentry will take over the command here. I can drop force fields, bring the guardian shield, creates a range 4 aura that reduces incoming range damage to friendly units by 2, lasts 11 seconds, creates a range 4 aura that reduces incoming range damage to friendly units by 2. Okay, that's awesome. So let's see how much the range damage actually deals. So for example, when it comes to the Hydralisk, the range damage is 12, and using Guardian Shield, ranged attack, I mean, using this aura would reduce it by 2 to 10 in this case. I wonder if these stack up. Alright, reduced by 2. And it looks like it will only be reduced by 2 no matter how many auras there are here. Hallucination creates a hallucination. So for example, we can hallucinate a Colossus and send it south. They will attack it now and will die. Okay, how would I position this force? Probably I need the stalkers up front. The immortals just behind them. These will have a good range of 6. These actually can't launch the purification laws while being behind the Protoss army, so I'm gonna get them on the side, and that's gonna be the thing here. And that will be it. It looks like Sentry is going to be the only unit with some kind of a ability here that would maybe able to split enemy army. Okay, so they are coming on the ramp, and I haven't even launched any of these purification hours here. Okay, it looks like it worked out quite nice, and I took far less damage than I initially anticipated. I can't really launch much anyway here. So it looks like due to me having the high ground, I was able to hit him up. Wow. In any case, what would happen if I would hit them with all those purification laws? They would just start dying. Can I kind of launched the purification off from behind them. Let's find out, because I think that they explode. The purification off explodes, and that's what causes damage. So let's try to launch them through the army. And as you can see, the explosion, the actual explosion, is what's causing damage, and not the purification of itself. So while having that in mind, let's attack the enemy and rely on purification now to wipe them out. Alright, the disruptor will be moving around, so if possible it will have to be set behind. So in this scenario, how we know that the enemy is going to attack us, how would I perfectly defend? So I would need to spread out my forces, get the sentries around so that they could provide the shield, or use force fields that could hinder the army. So if we could launch the force fields in the middle of the army, half of the army will not be able to shoot at us, which would make us much tougher. Okay, so let's make them move on the attack, and I'm launching these purification nodes now. Not all of these have been launched. In any case, that's how it would look like if I'm prepared, and if I'm not prepared, for example, if it goes like that, I've lost. So as you can see, even when initially this enemy army seemed to be very powerful, but not good enough, in other circumstances they may be more powerful. So if I just send everybody on the attack and may not use those abilities of mine to the limit, things wouldn't work out as well. However, if I'm not going to fight them here, but rather here, things should surely be different. So what I want to do is I want the sentries to provide me with that guardian shield. Obviously, that's how it would look like, and I think that it does weaken enemy army by quite a bit. So as you can see now, my army has won, and that's the thing about this game, is that things like strategy play a crucial role, because without it, just this may not work out. On the other hand, the Zerg has banelings that could belong